Welcome to another Movie Monday where these two decided to put themselves through torture, essentially. This week, they decided that they wanted to watch Justice League,
Wanted to
which
watch is not really the right word.
We decided we had to watch.
Yeah.
They decided after much contemplation that Justice League should be on this list. So, you guys have any opening things you want to say, or should I just jump into my questions?
Well, I guess before the questions, we should kind of state sort of our knowledge of DC going into this. So, Mai, what is your background with DC?
I watched Teen Titans, the pseudo anime back when it aired, and I've watched several of well, I guess this is kind of a plug, Cosmonaut Variety Hours videos about like the DC movies and how like weird they are, and he does offer some context with like comics and his like knowledge of other DC media. So everything I know besides Teen Titans stuff, which is only mildly important because the only character that I know decently well is Cyborg. All of my knowledge is secondhand.
And then, of course, there's the movies that we've seen.
Yeah, the other movies like Man of Steel and Aquaman and Wonder Woman
and Suicide Squad. Don't forget that movie.
Oh my god, I forgot we watched that.
I forgot we watched that too.
It was so important.
Oh my god. Yeah, okay. Yeah, besides those shitty ass movies, except Wonder Woman. Yeah.
Yeah. So I again have seen the movies. I have not read any of the comics, but I have also seen a lot of animated stuff. So I've seen the entirety of the DCAU. I've also saw, again, with our 2020 retrospective, I mentioned I saw the 16 DCAMU movies, and also I have watched Young Justice and also the Harley Quinn show, though that doesn't really apply at all, because that's all just a shitpost. But Young Justice sort of works as well for other sort of aspects on different characters, and yeah, so I know a fair amount of... I at least know a fair amount of characters, and I would recognize most people and kind of some general plot lines and stuff like that. So I'm not a super DC nerd on stuff, but I know a decent amount, I would say. More than the average movie-going person, I would say. So,
I guess
Tara.
with that in mind, Fallon.
Yes.
For both of you, who are your least and favorite characters in this movie?
Favorite character in this movie?
Oh, I just want to say one. I guess I always have this weird comment. Okay, so Jeremy Irons is in this movie, and if y'all don't know, he voices Scar from Lion King. Jeremy Irons is Alfred Pennyworth.
What?
Yeah.
And whenever he talked, I pictured Scar being Batman's servant. It was the weirdest thing. And then later, at some point in the middle of the movie, Wonder Woman tells the villain, she tells Superman, "Remember who you are," and I lost it because Lion King brain. So that's my one comment first.
I don't have a favorite character in this.
If you forced me to pick, maybe Diana's probably the best one right now. But
yes,
that's not saying it.
No, that's not saying any. I would still probably say she's not even net positive.
No.
She's just a whatever. I don't know.
I guess that actually goes into my other question, which is that we liked Wonder Woman. How was her character, and was it butchered?
It wasn't butchered, it just wasn't there.
She's just a non-entity. She's just there because she's supposed to be the sane one.
I am the generic, nice, reasonable person, and it's okay.
She's the literal only sane woman in the whole thing.
And then, okay, you also mentioned who's your least favorite character. That's actually, I think, an easy answer. Well, it's twofold, okay? In terms of, annoying, easily Flash. Flash sucks in this movie.
Yeah, I mean, like I've heard a lot about Flash being like the epitome of crouching moron, hidden badass, and I love that trope. But this version of Flash is the type of funny that's really annoying. I don't like it.
It's the I'm quirky. It's that kind of humor, and it's just
Oh, I
it doesn't
see.
work. The
And
other
the types of jokes they put in, I'm just like, who
it's
wrote
not
this?
funny.
Because he's just like, oh, my blood sugar's kind of low, and like when Bruce Wayne came with the sad Affleck came with the like picture of Flash, he's like, oh yeah, that's a very handsome Jewish boy, and I'm just like, oh my god, why are they trying to put all these buzzwords in?
But the other character that I would say is least favorite, and it's just because I don't know, but fuck it, Steppenwolf fucking sucks. The villain sucks because they do fucking. Here's the thing: Steppenwolf normally sucks. Like nobody likes Steppenwolf. Like nobody gives a shit about Steppenwolf in the comics, in the shows. I don't care. Nobody fucking cares. He's really goddamn boring, and they of course he's still boring in this thing too. So, and it just. There's so many better options of what to do, even if you're doing the whole Darkseid minion plot, which is still a dumb thing to do, like literally just Justice League 1. But like, even if you're doing that, there's better options. So, like, yeah.
You guys ended up answering 2 of my questions.
Okay.
Well, one of the questions was, how was the humor in this movie, and do you
it was so
a lot of
awkwardly timed.
Yeah. It was very obvious that, like, again, someone, like, wrote in certain funny moments, like, after the fact. Because they just don't fit with, like, other stuff going on.
They were trying to do what Marvel does, but less successfully.
It doesn't fit the tone because all of the other DC movies that came before this were so grimdark, like...
Well, even in this movie, like, 70% of this movie is still kind of that grimdark tone.
Yeah.
So to have random moments of, like, what's brunch? And, like, Aquaman going, like, I don't want to die! Like, kind of a funny... it doesn't work. It's just... Yeah. It doesn't work. Also, I have to remind you, Tara, that this... Besides, I think, a few cameos in, like, BVS or something, this movie is basically the introduction to Aquaman, Flash, and the Cyborg.
Wait, really?
Yeah, because the Aquaman movie came out after this, and Flash and Cyborg have not had their movies yet. And again, I think Flash is, like, very briefly in BVS for, like, some reason, but not really. So basically, in terms of their actual, as characters, this is their introduction. So it would be like in fucking Avengers 1 if, like, I don't know, Thor, Hulk, and, like, Hawkeye were all, like, first introduced in Avengers 1. That would be really stupid. So, yeah. Ugh. Like, this movie should not be hard to make. Like, literally, just do Avengers 1, but, like, with these characters, and it would be fine. Like, you can't, they just... This movie frustrates me so much in terms of, like, how it's so not hard to at least... I'm not even saying this movie would be amazing, but it would at least be okay.
It would at least be competent. Like, right. It would at least have a plot that makes some sense.
Yeah.
I don't even know how to tell you what the plot is, because I don't know what it is.
Well, it's okay. Okay, so Steppenwolf, the most boring villain to ever exist, shows up and is like, I need boxes.
3 boxes.
And it's like, okay, so where are these boxes? One of them's in Atlanta. One of them's in Themyscira. So he goes over and, like, kicks the shit out of some people and then takes the box. It's like, okay, that was that scene. Then another one's in Atlantis. So he goes to Atlantis and fucking kicks the shit out of Aquaman for a second and takes that one. The other one, Cyborg just, like, has. And he's like, yo, I got this thing because something. And then like they use it. Well, also, but the hero's like, we gotta, Steppenwolf is bad dude, so we gotta revive Superman. And the mother box can do that. So then, like, okay, and then they do that, and then, like, but then Steppenwolf just takes the box anyway. So he has all the boxes. Then he goes to some, like, nuclear reactor for some reason and, like, puts the boxes together. And then, like, weird, like, purple growth things start coming out and, like, doing things, I guess, and, like, there's parademons everywhere because there have been parademons around that do things. I guess. And then they fight him, and then they're like, oh, they're about to lose, but oh, then Superman comes in and he punches the boom bomb bomb and like the win, and then they go to die, and then that's the it. But like, so like, here's the thing: it's really not that complicated in concept. It's that bad guy wants thing, heroes want to prevent him from getting things. Bad guy gets things. Heroes then like go in to stop the final thing before he activates the bad things, and then they stop him, and that's it. But like how it's told, it's like it's just not explained at all. And again, the whole like mother box plot point is just not handled well at all. Great, to be fair, like the mother box thing is just like it's honestly kind of like not that great of a plot device anyway, because it's literally just it's basically here's a techno thingy that can do what we want it to do. Like that's honestly like that applies to like the comics and like shows and stuff too. So, but it's just I don't know. It's told so weirdly, and you just don't give a shit about like any of the characters, because even if you liked Man of Steel or like and Wonder Woman or whatever, like you just don't know half the characters. So like it doesn't even work. So and the villain's the most boring piece of shit ever, and the action's not very good. Like I know people criticize the effects, but like it's not even just the effects. It's almost like the action like directing is like not very good.
If there's a question about that, we'll talk about the whole action cutting stuff later.
Yeah, I don't know. Anyway,
yeah,
I'm just
but
I
was gonna ask. So from what you described, Belen, it sounds like the mother boxes kind of are the. Well, one of my questions was, do you think that the mother boxes were the quote-unquote Infinity Stones for the DC universe? And then you described the plot, and I was like, that kind of just sounds like what happened to Infinity War.
Kind of, but even then, like the Infinity Stones, a lot of them were also like they were in previous movies where they had their own kind of use and they did their own thing before Thanos brought them together.
Set them up.
Not only did they set them up, they actually like showed us what they did.
Yeah, they set them up correctly.
Right? They showed us what they did. Even like when Thanos like kind of has some of them, and remember he gets into that fight with like some guys, the guys on Titan or whatever. You actually see like literally some of the effects of the stones in action, so you very clearly understand. Oh, this one does this, this one does that. Where this is just like, here's a box, and it does stuff. And again, this isn't fully the fault of the movie. I do think just in general, the mother boxes, like as a DC concept, are not handled super well. They are kind of just like techno magical thingies, and it's like, okay, so, but, and the thing, okay, I'm gonna go off on a tangent here, but it's related to this, and I don't know how you could kind of get into this. So, Cyborg in this movie is like, is big sad. Okay, he's big depressy. Okay, and like, the thing is, I'm
my Cyborg.
Okay, fine, but like. Well, Goofy Cyborg wouldn't make sense in this movie, but like,
no.
The thing is, there is like an actual. I have seen, for example, like a kind of a sad kind of version of Cyborg in Young Justice, and they actually handle this really well because, basically, I kind of want to spoil it, but like, first of all, in this movie, he was in an accident, and like they don't elaborate on that at all, which like literally the whole point, like the accident is like the core of Cyborg's character in terms of like how this works, because basically like he. Like, how do I fucking explain this that's like not spoilery? I don't know. Basically, he gets fucked up in an explosion, and his dad is like, oh shit, this dude's literally gonna die, but I've been working on this technology, the mother box, that is supposed to like, give people sort of like, not powers, but like it accelerates growth or whatever. So he literally, in pure desperation, is like, I guess I'll try this, I don't fucking know. And so he, like, basically infuses the mother box with Cyborg's, well, the actual human part of his body, and that becomes the Cyborg part of his body. Now, in Young Justice, they literally turn this into a thing where, like, it's almost like there's the human part of him and the computer part of him, but the computer part of him is again, it's the mother box, which is literally, like, Apocalypse tech, which is basically, like, it's literally technology that is, like, for and of the bad guy. It's almost like sort of like a One Ring of Lord of the Rings situation, where it's like he's almost being like tempted to like do really bad shit because that's like what the computer in his head is telling him to do, and the fact that again the mother box is literally his body. So if like the villain wanted to take the mother box, they literally would have to like destroy Cyborg's body completely. So it's like, that's actually a good sort of setup for conflict, where it's like, here's one of our heroes, and if the villain succeeds, Cyborg is going to die, like, just flat up, right? So it's like, that would be a good idea. But that's not what they do. They at least say, oh, no, he just has the mother box. It's not a part of his body. And it's just like, why? Like, you had the perfect setup to make this an actual character conflict, but you don't do it. And it's just, it's so frustrating. And also, of course, the part of the whole thing with the, the character conflict of Cyborg and Young Justice is that he's like really pissed at his dad for like multiple reasons, and that's just kind of not really talked about here at all. So yeah, it just comes off as like he's just upset because he looks weird, and it's like it doesn't work like that. So okay, anyway, that rant is over. I have another one later, but continue.
Okay, I'll save that one since you just finished your rant. It has to do with directed development, but did the characters have any chemistry together as a team?
No.
Whatsoever. Like
No.
Like, okay, I'm gonna be as nice as possible here. In some of the funny scenes, it's one of those things where it's like, oh, if the whole movie was actually of this tone, I could maybe see how this could maybe work. But the movie does not have that tone, so it doesn't work. So, yeah.
I think the ones who get the closest, just because they were probably, in movies together before, are Sad Affleck and Gal Gadot.
It's not even that good. Like, the thing is, it is sort of a like a plot thing for DC where that like Batman and Wonder Woman like are kind of like maybe they're a thing. I don't know, right? So like it's definitely like that's kind of what they were going for, but it's again, it's not even good. It's just more like, oh, it's just not terrible. So it's like, okay. And they at least like, talk to each other like fucking normal human beings. So it's like, okay. But then again, like fucking Bruce Wayne is kind of fucking weird in this movie. He's
not Bruce Wayne.
There's one scene where he gets like really like catty and with like insults and stuff, and it's just like, what? This is not what would happen. This doesn't make any sense. So, I
guess. How was the CGI? That said, what did you think of the infamous mustache?
It's like the color is wrong. That's the thing that was distracting me the most. It's like his lip is literally like a lighter color than like the rest of his face.
Yeah.
Like, that was the weirdest part for me. And then also, of course, the fact that like, his lip just doesn't move when he's talking like at all, which, is weird. But still, it's just the color. That was the most distracting thing about it. It was just weird. But yeah, the rest of the CGI, it's just, yeah.
Steppenwolf looks bad.
Like most of the action, even like in pretty much all of the final fight scene, it literally feels like just like a fucking video game cutscene. Like all the background is CGI. Like all the characters are just kind of jumping around in ways that are very obviously like motion tracked with CGI, and it's just like,
I just feel like also like
you guys can talk about the action, by the way, now too.
The way that the environment was set up in like that final area, it was so small. You know what I mean?
Well, it was confusing. It's like I had no idea where people were going or what they were actually doing.
Yeah.
It was just like, oh, all of a sudden, like Wonder Woman like hits this thing and it falls over, and it's like, okay, but what was that and why did she do that?
Yeah.
I don't know.
It is kind of like the whole video game thing where it's like a small room because it's like a boss battle kind of, and it was all red for some reason too. Yeah. And Valve was just like, oh, it's just to hide the CGI.
Probably. But even then, again, it's still pretty damn obvious. There was one thing in particular. There's just like a rock that like falls down at one point, and it like, I'm like, that does not look real.
Rock?
Yeah.
And it's like, it's a big ass rock, and it's like, again, we said this for like the Mummy, and it's like, solid objects, are like the easiest things to animate, right? And it's like, this rock should not look weird, but it does. So, and yeah, it's
you
like,
said we can talk about action too.
I don't know what it is. It's not really I don't know if it's the editing or what it is, but it's just like, it's just boring.
There's also like the weird slow-mo thing.
Yeah, there's a lot of slow-mo.
They kept using over and over. Like at first I was like, okay, the only one I can see this working for is Flash, but then they kept using it.
Yeah, for Wonder
all
Woman,
the time,
and for Superman, and yeah, and honestly, the Flash's effects, like, they honestly don't look that great either. It just looks kind
of weird.
Yeah, it's kind of like, I don't know.
Like, it's kind of like they wanted to do something that wasn't like the animated one where it's like the streaky colors, but that's like Flash's thing.
They turn him all like lightning-ish, and it's just like,
it's so weird. It's so strange.
It doesn't look right. So. Yeah, and then also, okay, maybe I just don't remember this, but Aquaman like flies around, and I'm like, I don't think that's a thing.
He
Like,
probably can in water.
I know
don't remember that.
he's like a strong dude, and I think he could probably like he of course has great strength, and he probably can like jump like higher than most or whatever. But he was literally like flying, and I'm like, I don't think he can do that. At least I don't like I don't. Maybe I'm missing something because flight is one of those things like a bunch of random ass people can do, but like I don't think so. So that was weird. Yeah, I don't know. Meh.
Alright, I guess well, Valen, what was the other rant you had? Because maybe that actually goes with this question.
It's just about the actual premise of the fucking movie, especially in comparison with like where it actually fits in this DCEU timeline and just that kind of stupid garbage. So
well, the question I was going to ask is any scenes that made you mad or frustrated in this movie, mainly directed at the guy who actually watched the TV show?
Nothing really individually. Like, again, the whole stuff with Cyborg just was stupid and pissed me off because it was like you even have a situation that even does work in this scenario and you don't use it. But besides that, it's just this is the problem with overall DC. They killed Superman in movie 2. I can't get over that. It's so dumb. It's so bad, and like that like has effects for like the rest of the fucking movies, and like literally like the whole point is that this is supposed to be sort of like the the minion of Darkseid, okay? And Darkseid is basically DC's Thanos, okay? He's the big bad, ultra bad, like, dude who has like insane like powers and all this stuff that like is gonna fuck everyone up, okay? So like, oh, let's have a minion of his like fight them first or whatever. And it's like, okay, first of all, if you were gonna do that, why'd you pick literally the most boring possible dude you could pick? Pick fucking Granny Goodness, okay? Just with that name, you could probably imagine she's more entertaining, and she is. It's a fucking old lady who's like crazy, like whacked out and evil, and it's like she's just like kills people. It's yeah, so it works better. But just the thing is, the original plan was that this was basically going to be like Justice League 1, and then Justice League 2 was going to come out like not that long after and was just going to have Darkseid. It's just like no, don't. Why would you have Darkseid be like movie like 6 or something? It's just so bad, and it's such a bad idea. And like the thing is, especially Darkseid as a character, Darkseid doesn't really have a character. He's not like, he doesn't really have a characterization. He's treated as almost this like evil force of like reality, where like, and the whole reason that when he works, because he does work well in certain like anime stuff that I've seen, is that he's so fucking strong and powerful that like everyone just seems so screwed, and that there's like no way that they can win, and that works. And so it doesn't, I think, oh, so he's not very interesting as like a person. No, he's not, but it works as an antagonistic force against the heroes. So if you care about the heroes, then you don't need Darkseid to have an interesting personality. It's just, oh shit, this dude's like literally unstoppable. How are these heroes going to survive? And that works if you like the heroes. So the fact that like literally, they introduce half of the heroes in this movie, like you have no time to like these people or even know them. So it's just such a stupid idea that doesn't work. And it's just so, and like again, for example, in the DCAU, Darkseid shows up at near the end of season 2 of the Superman show. This is like 50 episodes in or something. Okay. And that's not, and even then he kind of shows up, like fucks around for a while on Earth, basically just literally just sort of like, I'm just gonna just blow shit up and whatever because I can. And then Superman comes in and like he doesn't even beat Darkseid. It's more just Darkseid's like, you're kind of annoying and I don't want to deal with you, so like bye. And he just leaves all after like killing a dude that Superman likes. So like, okay, and then he doesn't actually come back until like, the finale of the show, which is one of the best finales I've actually ever seen, but that's a whole giant other conversation. So just having him come in so early is such a bad idea, and it doesn't work. It's such a stupid idea just in concept already, and I just why did they do this? Oh my god. Why did they kill Superman in PBS? It's so bad. Like, this is literally the thing that, like, ruins, like, everything else in this series. That they killed Superman in movie 2. That tells you everything you need to know about how bad these people are at planning out a fucking franchise storyline. It's so stupid. So, yeah. There. I'm upsetty.
What do you guys think of the ending? Valen, do you think this team deserves to form into the Justice League, or do you think it's more of like the Z Plan Justice League, where it's like the last resort Justice League?
They're like, is the ending's like so? It's such a whimper. It's such a like, who cares ending? Like, okay, so Superman comes back, and because of that, they sort of stop Steppenwolf. They don't even really kill him. It's just like he gets like afraid of them, and that the whole thing is that in this movie, which I don't even think if this is actually like a comic or animated thing, the parademons, like, they sense fear. So now that Steppenwolf is afraid of Superman, then the parademons attack Steppenwolf, and so he starts getting like eaten by them. But then they get like sucked up in a boom tube portal.
Wait. So, man, doesn't that go back to the whole Scar analogy that you made?
Oh yeah. Well, Alfred is Scar.
Yeah, but you have a death that Scar died from it.
That is actually kind of true.
So then, the plot of this movie is actually Lion King.
Not really, but okay. But so he gets, but then he gets like sucked up into a portal with the parademons, and it's like, okay, presumably I guess to go to so Daddy Darkseid can kick his ass or whatever. But like, you don't
Darkseid.
But like, you don't see that, so like, whatever. And then they have that like, that like montage of like, oh, here's what all the heroes are doing on their own now, and look how happy everyone is, and Lois Lane is narrating, and it's like, oh yeah, Lois Lane is in this movie, and she does nothing except talk to Clark Kent and make him horny.
Yeah, right! She shows up after Superman gets revived.
Because when he gets revived, he gets like all pissed or something, and he's like, I'm gonna kill everyone for some reason. And then Lois Lane's like, no! And he's like, ooh, a hot person. And then it's like, okay. And
they fuck off to Kansas for a while.
Yeah, but anyway, so she's like narrating stuff like, oh, these heroes, they're changing the world, they're making a difference, and it's like all this montage of like stuff that they're doing, and it's just like, I don't care. I don't care at all
and then
about this.
Slade shows up at the end.
Oh yeah, the post credits is apparently like fucking Eisenberg Luthor gets like broken out of prison or whatever, and then Slade meets with him, and then they're like, we need to form a league of our own, and it's like, oh, so it's like the Legion of Doom, but like, even then, wasn't the next Justice League supposed to be about Darkseid? So why are you bringing? Were they trying to have the Legion of Doom and Darkseid in the same fucking movie for Justice League 2? Oh my god, I think that would be the dumbest decision ever. But they fucking killed Superman in movie 2, so they might have done it anyway.
Wait, but if they do that, then who's gonna be the villain in Justice League 3?
So I don't know, fucking. Who cares?
Thanos!
It doesn't matter.
Thanos crosses over.
Who doesn't matter? Who cares? Nobody cares. The fucking, I don't know. There's so many things they could do. They could use the fucking Ultimen. They could use fucking, oh shit, what's his name? The dude, the planet guy, the planet, battle planet, the dude, what the fuck is his name? Ah, shit.
Captain Planet?
No! The dude, it's in the DC, it's in the Justice League Unlimited episode, the man who had everything or whatever. What the fuck is his name? Anyway, that guy can
I'll look it up if you want.
Yeah. So, yeah, look, it's Justice League Unlimited, the man who had everything or has everything. It's that episode. It's that guy. What the fuck was his name?
Wait,
Well, I'll keep talking while you look it up.
Okay.
And, like, they could do that. They could do the fucking, oh shit, what are they called? That's another thing I don't remember. Is it the Reach? The aliens that are in season 2 of Young Justice. That would work. That could be interesting. You could do Starro. You could do. There's a bunch of shit you could do. So, yeah. Damn it! I just remembered something else now that pissed me off about Cyborg. Because they turn into the thing where it's like, oh, the whole reason that Superman gets mad to like attack them or whatever is that like Cyborg's like his suit is like, oh, I'm gonna like recognize Superman as a threat, so I'm gonna like preemptively attack or whatever. And I'm like, that's not a Cyborg thing. That's Blue Beetle's thing. Why are you doing the thing that Blue Beetle does when that would actually also be a compelling character for Blue Beetle, but not for Cyborg? God damn it. Anyway.
Is it Mongol?
That's it. Mongol. That's his name. That's what I was thinking of. That guy is actually, that would work as sort of like a a mini dark side kind of leading up to that. That works. You could use the Thanagarians, but that would also mean you would have to use Hawkgirl, and which I would think would be good because Hawkgirl is amazing, but they would fuck it up, so I don't want that. So
I think that's too much CGI. I mean, all the CGI went into the mustache, and
yeah, just I have been tempted to like kind of do a video of like me sort of like rewriting the DCEU like from scratch and like going through what I would
I
do.
mean,
And
that could be kind of interesting.
I'm sure like what my ideas are probably not even that great, but it's just it's something. It's something that is at least reasonable. There is like a flow to it. It's not just a goddamn mess of shit that they shove into like 4 movies. Ugh.
I mean, it would be like how Mother's Basement fixed that one arc of Sword Art Online.
yeah.
I don't know. The main problem is that like I don't really know very much about Flash or Aquaman like by themselves, so I wouldn't really know much to say about them. But yeah. Also, I probably would just get rid of Cyborg because I don't really care about Cyborg.
No, Cyborg!
I'd replace him with Jon Stewart. It's fine. But anyway, yeah, just Any other questions?
There's only the last question, so if you guys have any other remarks that you want to say before I ask it, this is your time.
I know I said this during the movie,
Okay.
but like this, like the way they set up the DCEU is a terrible way to get normies who don't know anything about DC to get interested into DC.
Mm-hmm.
They fuck it up so bad.
Yeah. No, again, I was acknowledging that where I was like, again, the whole Mother Box plot. They don't explain it until like 2/3 into the movie, and then even then they explain it in a really confusing way that even it doesn't really make any sense. So yeah.
I thought of a bonus question, which is that did they actually? This is the Justice League, which is a team of heroes. Did they actually save anyone in the movie, or did they just fight?
They save a random like Russian family just who's like there.
This family was like flashed back to like 3 times, and we were like,
"What is the
who
point?"
are these people?
And then they just randomly get saved, and it's like, okay, that's it. Oh, and
So,
Aquaman
like,
saves a guy on a ship.
Kind
at one point, and then he like dumps him on a table. I literally had to struggle to remember the word table. That's how bad this movie's fucked me. Okay, here's the thing. Remember how I said like I was worried that the Mummy would be really boring?
Mm.
This was boring.
Yeah, we talked about this too during the movie.
It was boring because at least Mummy, the action and stuff, it was dumb, but it was like kind of entertaining in how dumb it was. This was just boring dumb. It was bad, boring dumb.
Like, I threatened to take a nap twice.
Oh my god.
So, yeah. Well, I guess final question then, which is...
Does this movie make you guys curious about the Zack Snyder cut?
Man.
I'm gonna go jump off a building now.
I don't know. I still, like, am morbidly curious. I don't expect it to be good.
Even after this punishment that you went through?
No. I need to see kind of how that's gonna work. Because basically, part of it... Okay, let me put it this way. Are they still actually treating it as, like, a remake of this movie? So, like, in other words, is Steppenwolf, like, still going to be in the Zack Snyder cut or whatever? Like, because if so, fuck that. I don't want to watch that. But if it's actually, like a 4-hour movie or whatever of, like, them fighting Darkseid, maybe, but I don't know. I'm still, like, I'll wait for reviews and maybe see if I want to kill myself.
You're not gonna hold your breath on it.
No, definitely not. And honestly, I know I said this before, but, like, before I watched this movie, but I'm like, it would be really funny if the Zack Snyder cut was worse. But I'm like,
who knows?
Would it be worse? I don't know. Because, again, part of it is just that it's so disjointed and whack, and I'm like, at least you would think it would be somewhat consistent in tone, even if the tone is bad, but, like, I don't know. Ugh.
I don't fucking know, bro.
Okay, so are we on to ratings then?
Yep, I guess you guys are on to ratings.
Oh boy, okay.
I'm giving this
hard.
a 1. It's a low 1. I'm done.
That was
Not
yeah.
even a 0?
No.
I don't hate it. I think I'll give the next movie we watch a 0.
It's this because again, this is like draining. It's not like
Mm.
I don't
I'm
know.
not enraged.
No.
I'm like annoyed, and I would never like if this was the only exposure I had to DC, I'd be like, these
We never
who
do
gives
this.
a fuck about DC?
Yeah.
But I know better because I watched Uncle Cosmonaut's videos and I watched Teen Titans when I was a child.
And-
so I know there is some good stuff in here.
And you
It's just
probably
that
at least somewhat think my opinion is not complete garbage when it comes to
yeah, and like
things.
whoever wrote these movies, directed these movies, they don't know what the fuck they're doing. They don't know how to tell stories. They don't know how to write characters.
Again,
they don't know how to
didn't
write
I say
character
that like one of the
interactions.
writers of BVS was like the writer for also wrote Rise of Skywalker? Wasn't that true?
Really?
Did he write Justice League 2? Let's find out.
Oh no.
But I don't know. The thing is, I'm really stuck here for what to give it for a rating. Basically, do I give it a 1 or do I give it a 2? And you might think, give it a 2, that's generous. But like,
why are you giving it a 2?
right? But again, it's like I don't know. There's
The Mummy deserves a 2.
I don't know. I for some reason my mind is like resisting. Oh, yep. He co-wrote Justice League as well. Okay. So yeah. Okay. I don't know. Cause like again, it.
You were bored during this movie.
Yeah, but boring is one thing, right? Like I don't know.
Wait. Valen?
Yes.
This is the most you have rant of your terrible movie list thus far. This is the one that you have gotten not 1 but 2 rants for, and you guys answered the most of my questions unprompted. I think that alone attests to the fact that this is a 1 for you. Just keep that in mind. Like, okay. I know the next movie is going to also make you guys mad, but this is actually something that you know.
The next movie might kill me.
Alright, I'll accept it. I'll give it a 1. The thing is, I'm kind of comparing this movie in my head somewhat to Jurassic World. Like, I was angrier during Jurassic World, but I also had higher expectations for Jurassic World, so...
I mean, like, fair, but...
Well, next movie. Oh,
Tell them.
Oh, I'm telling them. Okay. Oh.
Do you want me to tell them?
No, I'll say it. Fuck it. We're watching Cats.
You guys probably saw this coming after you heard big budget flops. So yeah, we're watching Cats, and I might die, and Valen might die, and yeah.
I will say, I am kind of disappointed that we're not going to be able to see the original unpatched theatrical version.
Because oh yeah, right, because
if you're gonna watch Cats, you might as well watch the worst version of Cats, because fuck it. So, but we won't be able to see that, which makes me kind of sad that we won't be able to see it as truly as much of a travesty as it was for like a week. So we'll have to settle for the new and improved Cats.
New and improved.
Quote unquote. So these guys will be putting themselves through hell, and
you might get to see some zeros on this thing next week.
The first zeros on the new list.
We'll see. Who knows? Mate, you know what? Watch. Somehow we like this movie.
Valen gives it a 10. He cries at the end, at the touching ending.
Yes, it's the better. It's a better ending than the ending of She-Ra, and the ending of Justice League, and the ending of Superman the Animated Series, and the ending of Code Geass. Yeah, it's better than all of that.
And the ending of
Season 5 of the Clone Wars. Well, Madagascar is just as a whole. It's just a good time. But anyway, yeah, I'm gonna go prepare myself for next week.
Alright. Bye, guys.
Bye.